Hello, my grade 6 learners. Today we are to learn solar system with Miss T and Vega. What are we to learn today? We are to determine what is the solar system, specifically the sun, planets, and asteroids, and distinguish the features of planets in the solar system. These are the Sun, the planets, and the asteroid in between Mars and Jupiter, which is right here. As you can see, it's Mercury, Venus, Earth, and many more, which is Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and it goes on. The first planet we are to look at is Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, and it takes 88 days to complete an orbit. And as we said before, an orbit is the path traveled around the Sun to complete the whole circle. So in Earth, we call that a whole year. For us to really finish circling around the Sun, it takes us 365 days a year, but for Mercury it only takes them 88 days, and it's the closest one to the Sun. It has no moons and has no atmosphere. What do we mean by atmosphere? Atmosphere is the layer of gas around a planet or other objects in that space. It may probably contain gas or many other substances, but mostly gas. This planet is much smaller than Earth. Let's look at some of the fun facts about Mercury. Well, first of all, Mercury has a very large temperature difference between day and night, meaning that it's extremely hot in the day and extremely cold in the night. And Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. That would make sense since it is the first planet in the solar system after the Sun. The surface of Mercury is very similar to that of the Moon. Mercury has virtually no atmosphere, so the sunlight hitting the planet is about 9 times as intense as the sunlight on Earth. If we were to live there, I'm sure we'll be pancakes by now. Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system. Keep that in mind, and might be your homework later on. Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system. Let's look at the next one. Venus, you guessed it, V for Venus. If you still remember the acronym of the video that we posted previously, the lesson that we had previously, we said my very excited mother served us, what is it? Noodles, yes. So my for Mercury, very for Venus. Okay, so Venus is the brightest object in the night sky after the Moon. Okay, it has 262 days to complete one orbit around the Sun. The Venus is slightly smaller than the Earth. It is the hottest planet on the solar system. Keep that in mind. Fun fact, it's the hottest. You cannot get any hotter than Venus. We said Mercury is the smallest one. We said for now Venus, the fun fact is that it's what? It's hottest. So the temperature of Venus is about 460 Celsius. I don't know what I'm thinking about. This is not even hotter than Mercury. Oh, excuse me. This is even hotter than Mercury, which is the closest planet to the Sun. The atmosphere is made out of carbohydrates, and Venus has no moon. That's something to keep in mind. It also has no moon, just like Mercury. So let's look at our fun facts. Venus is the second planet in the solar system. It has no moon. Venus also is called a planet of love. Okay. And it has the brightest, oh, it is the brightest planet in the night sky. And the size, mass, and average density of the planet Venus is about the same as Earth. Okay. So it's the second planet, almost the same mass and size as Earth. It has no moons, and it's one of the brightest in the night sky. Let's look at the next one. Who can guess it? My very excited. What's excited for? Earth. That's right. Excited is for Earth. So if you don't know as yet, you live on Earth, okay? Earth is the only planet that can support life in the solar system, and the Earth's atmosphere contains oxygen, and it's the only planet with liquid water, which is amazing. You would think maybe other planets would have liquid water too, but I guess not on its surface. And it takes about 365 and a quarter days to orbit around the sun. It has only one moon. Okay, let's read some couple of fun facts about Earth, shall we? The impacts with another planet is found on the moon is about 4.9 billion years ago. Okay. The first info on Earth was also appeared during an era. Okay. So Earth's water come from various sources, and of course we used to have extinct animals. Our north poles have magnetic fields around the Earth, and it can accommodate a lot of people. First photosynthetic life forms appeared about 2.9 billion years ago, which is amazing. So that's just a bit of facts about Earth. Mars. Okay, we said my very excited mother aim for Mars. Okay, so Mars is often called the red planet. It looks red because the presence of rust on its surface. Ooh, interesting. And Mars is very similar to Earth. It has water. Okay, and all its water is frozen. Okay, that's very interesting. It is only found on ice caps of the planets. Mars also experiences winter summer like Earth does. In winter, the temperatures drop to -82 Celsius, and in summer, its temperature reaches about -5 Celsius, which is crazy. And Mars has no moons, and its whole year, its circulation happens in 320 days. Its complete cycle on an orbit is 320 days. That's Mars for you. Let's read a couple of fun facts right there. Fun facts: the Soviet Union made its first landing on Mars. Okay, that's Soviet Union, Russia, basically. It has volcanoes, which is really similar to Earth. Mars has a volcanical active history, meaning there were volcanoes active on it. Mars may still have geographical activity in the future. It may have volcanoes are bigger and more powerful than those on Earth. Ooh, and it's much more common with hotspots as on Earth. So that's an interesting fact about Mars. It has volcanoes as Earth does. Let's look at the soil, okay? It's poisonous. Oh my god. Its soil is poisonous. Scientists can have also discovered organic components in Mars soil. Okay, that sounds interesting. For water, Mars once had plenty of water. Oh, once had plenty of liquid water. It has water and may still have water till this day. Okay. So there were movies made by it. There were countries like America who successfully sent their machines to check it up, probes in other words. And there were actually discoveries once made about Mars scientifically, and there were shows, American shows such as The Viking, that inspired to make content knowing from Mars. Science believe Mars moons are actually captured asteroids. Okay. So that's the fun facts about Mars. Let's move on. Jupiter. My very excited mother just made us, served us noodles for just its word Jupiter. And Jupiter is a very giant body of our solar system. It has the mass 300 times more than the Earth's mass. That is incredible. It's 3 times bigger than our own Earth. Okay, it takes up about 12 years to complete one orbit around the sun. Whoa. And it has 62 moons. That is, I don't even know if I can go on to more fun facts after getting that much information about Jupiter, but let's just go on for sake of wanting to know more. Okay, Jupiter is the 5th planet in the solar system, and it has 2.5 more mass than all other planets in the solar system. Whoa, that's crazy. And it has a famous red spots. The large red spots is usually a huge storm about the size of 2 to 3 Earths. And that is amazing. So 3 Earths can fit in that really red spot. That's they call a storm. Okay. So Jupiter has the shortest time of rotation among planets, and thus it has the shortest day of all planets, and it rotates on its axis once every 9 hours and 55 minutes. So a whole day is literally 9 hours and 55 minutes. That would be incredible if we lived like that on Earth. We have 24 hours on Earth, but on Jupiter they have 9 hours and 55 minutes. Jupiter orbits around the Sun for every 11.8 Earth years. Let's round that off and say 12 years. So it takes 12 years for Jupiter to really travel around the Sun in the orbits. Okay, so Jupiter has a gas giant planet, and it does not have any solid surface. Ooh, that's really incredible. Its atmosphere is mainly made from hydrogen and helium. And so Jupiter has a ring system. Jupiter's ring system was the third to be discovered in the solar system after Saturn and Uranus, and it composed of four main components. First one is a thick inner torus of particles, a halo ring, in other words, a bright and thin ring, which is the main ring, and two wide, thick, and faint outer ring for the Jupiter, excuse me. So it has really a lot of rings and a lot of moons. Keep that in mind. So we said it before, it is 300 times bigger than the mass of Earth. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Saturn served mommy, my very excited mother just served us noodles. So served is for Saturn. Okay. Saturn is the second biggest planet. Ooh, that's something you should note. And it's said to be the most beautiful. It consists of giant rings of gases and ice, and some of its rings are not even visible from Earth, but Saturn has at least 16 moons. That is crazy. And it takes nearly about 30 years to complete an orbit around the Sun. 30 years to complete an orbit around the Sun. If our Happy New Year was every 30 minutes, honestly, that would be like crazy. Let's look at some of the fun facts. It has gaseous atmosphere. It has helium, metallic helium. It has ice, as the second layer, and the inner core is a rock. So Saturn rings consist of ice cubes, and of course the names of the moons around it, and more other technical stuff. Thank you. Let's move on. Uranus. Okay, Uranus cannot be seen without a telescope. This planet has 27 moons, and it takes Uranus 84 years to complete one orbit around the Sun. Uranus is the smallest of the four gas giants, but it's still much bigger than Earth. So let's look at fun facts about Uranus. Uranus is an ice giant. So Uranus is the only planet that takes up the name of the Greek mythology. Okay, and it rains diamonds. Really? That would be so nice if I could just catch one droplet from Uranus. And it orbits around the Sun. It has 13 faint rings. Oh, it has 27 moons. It's just a lot of fun facts about it. Its moons of Uranus takes their names after the literal sea characters. And next to Saturn, Uranus is the second least dense planet in the solar system. And of course, there are many more fun facts that we already mentioned. Oh, this one is interesting. It does not have a surface, but it's a planet. That is incredibly interesting. What's next? Noodles, which is in for what? Neptune. Neptune, yes. So Neptune is an ice giant like Uranus. It's made out of the same gases. It has blue-green color because of the lithium in its atmosphere. If you know what's medium, medium is what the cows produce. It's the gas that they take out. Basically, it's cows' farts, if you don't know. So there's a planet that has a lot of medium out there, and Neptune has 13 moons and also several dark rings, and it's the third largest planet on the solar system. Let's look at some of the fun facts about it. Neptune has a bright blue color. The planet is named after the Roman god of sea. The planet has an extreme climate. The winds on Neptune are mostly powerful in the entire solar system. And the planet Neptune is the fourth largest of planets in the solar system. Actually third. And massive, densiest in the solar system. And due to the great distance from the sun, the planet is not bright enough to be seen with the naked eye. That is the last of the planets. If we were to look at our acronym one more time, my very excited mother just served us noodles. So my for what? Mercury. What's the next one? Very for Venus. What's the next one? Excited for Earth. Mother for Mars. Just for Jupiter. Served for Saturn. And us for Uranus. Last but not least, noodles for Neptune. So, how long will it take us to travel around? Let's look. Well, since Mercury is the closest, obviously its orbit would be shorter, 88 days. And we've looked through this in our notes. This is just a bit of, remembrance, a little reminder, of course. Jupiter, what's Jupiter? 12 years. 160 years for Neptune. That's the last planet. This is the second last planet. Oh my god, some of them take years, but Venus is the second planet, 225 days. Mars is the third one. Earth is the third, and then Mars. So you can see the bigger the orbit gets, the more time the planet takes to finish going around the sun. So 88 days first planet, second planet, 225 third planet would be Earth, 365, and then Mars. You can see the difference. Okay, the increase in distance is increased in time traveling around the orbits in the sun, around the sun. Alrighty, what would your homework possibly be? A couple of questions really, such as which planet is the closest to the sun and which one is the furthest. So just to give you a little tippy, like a little answer, closest would be, let's remember our acronym, my very excited mother. So I started with mine, and what does the mine stand for? Mercury, of course. And the last one is noodles, right? Which is N for Neptune. Okay. Which is the largest planet and which is the smallest? Which is the inner rocky planets and which are the outer gas giants? Okay. Some of them are rocky. Some of the planets to consider on the rocky side would be what? Mercury, right? Some of them for gaseous side you would actually think of what? Neptune, right? Neptune is completely gas. And the rocky one would be Mars. bit of rock in Earth, but we have liquid, so it's not really that rocky. Jupiter has a lot of gas, that really a lot. This is partially rock inside the core, and then ice, and then gas. So I can't really say rocky. It has to be gas at this point, even though it has a core. It does qualify as a gas giant. So that's how you would consider answering that question. Which of the gas giants are made out of frozen gas? No, I'm not going to give you the answers of this one, because I feel it's one of the fun facts about the rings and the planets. So you can go back to your fun facts on that one. So here's a table that asks you the planets, the position in the solar system. Does it have an atmosphere, volcano, water, moon, or rings? And for you to draw the planets, okay? So I did the first one for you, and that was Mercury. It's the first position in the solar system. It has no atmosphere, no moon, no liquid, and rings. It has no rings, and it's not really a rocky planet. Oh, it is, I'm sorry, it is a rocky planet. So that is fun facts about Mercury, and will be well appreciated if you answered the rest of it. Just to review what we have done or learned, really, is that there are 8 planets and asteroid belts. The 8 planets would be Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus and Neptune in the orbits around the Sun. Each planet has its features, size, orbit, and position in relation to the Sun. Composition, how it's made of, is it rocky or is it a gaseous planet, or both? And its number of moons, or if it has no moons, and just really taking into account the planets and the asteroids around it. And there are planets that has asteroids around it, so like Saturn, keep that in mind. And thank you for joining us. The next lesson would be looking at the movement of the Earth, and you can check out the revolution on Earth right here. You can also subscribe and really keep proceeding and following in our channel, and please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining Miss T and Vega on grade 6 in its solar system. See you next time, our broad stars. Bye.